All right, Nayoon, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we can start now. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's Career Talk seminar, Nayoon Kim. Nayoon is an actuarial manager, but maybe you can update. Later, I got this from LinkedIn at MSIG Singapore and an alumna of our Applied Mathematics program at Nayoon University International College, MUIC. Last week was a good coincidence that the talk by a distinguished speaker, Ajahn Jirapan from Chulalongkorn University, was about applications of mathematics and statistics in insurance world. Nayoon also took actuarial mathematics course with Ajahn Jirapan at the MUIC as well. Nayoon talk today titled General Insurance Actuaries Past, Present, and Future promises to provide a unique perspective on the evolving world of insurance and actual science. Her expertise in this field is further highlighted by her impressive academic accomplishments. Nayoon not only passed two Society of Actuaries exams or SOA, probability and financial mathematics exams while at MUIC, but she also graduated with first class honors in 2016, and you can check her GPA in LinkedIn. Her academic excellence is a testament to her hard work and dedication to her studies. Since then, Nayoon has continued to make strides in her career and has recently passed all the exams, maybe 10, right? Or 12, I'm not sure.
12.
12, right? And that are the requirement for the fellow of Casualty Actuarial Society or FCAS, which is no small feat at all. So congratulations again, Nayoon. Her journey and experiences in the actuarial field will undoubtedly provide invaluable insights for those who are interested in pursuing this career path. Once again, let's give a warm welcome to Nayoon Kim.
Thank you. Thank you. So I can take over from now?
Oh, please.
Okay.
It's all yours
Thank
now.
you. Thank you. Thank you for great introduction about me. Okay, so let's start. So everyone can hear loud and clear and the screen share is okay, I guess. Okay. So yeah, today's topic I selected is general insurance actuaries, past, present, and future. So yeah, I actually prepared some introduction slide, but I think Ajahn Jack did such a great introduction about me. So yeah, my name is Nayoon Kim. I even wrote my name in Thai. So I moved to Thailand after when I was 13. So here you can see this is the number of years that I've been staying in these countries. So you can actually know my age if you just add all up. But anyway, so 11 years in Thailand, and then after working a year and a half in Thailand after graduating at MUIC, I moved to Singapore. So I was working for KPMG Singapore for around 4 years, and then now I'm with MSIG Singapore around 1.5 years. So you can see here MUIC 2012 to 2016. So my number will be 55. So I think like most of the participants, it's like 6 something, right? So I'm old school from all people here, from the students. And then I attained the fellowship from the CAS, Casualty of Actuarial Society, just last year. Okay, so just moving on. Just to make this session more like people to engage. So I prepared this. So if everyone should have a cell phone, right? So please take it out. Can you try to scan this, or you can even just type slido.com in your browser and type this code to join. So this here, you can, I prepared some of like questions, and also you can ask the questions while all this, anytime, because, I found it more like engaging having this session instead of, just raising your hand or whatever, because it's virtual. So let's see. So yeah, I was, oh, sorry. Okay, here. Okay, so let's see. Okay, I hope most of you are already in. Okay, so I'm gonna try one questionnaire. So the first one is, have you heard of actuary? Can people, okay, so people can join, I guess. Okay, we have 5 people. Okay, I guess I will consider that we have around 13 people. Okay, 14 people, 15 people, sorry. Okay, that's great. So yes, and I have some idea what they do, and I'm really glad that no one has picked what. Okay. Okay, and the second one. What do you think of when you hear the word actuary? Any word or phrase? Just want to see like what kind of, if you really know about the actual seller. Okay. Money. Okay. I know that word. That's actually in Thai, I guess. Premium, yes. Insurance with math. Accounting for the future. Options, okay. Risk management. Okay, nice. Yeah, I guess this will be a nice session to get to know about actuary and GI actuary. So yeah, you can ask questions here if you are shy to speak up or raise your hand, and it will be more effective to, without without like stopping the presentation. So I will the agenda today. So first, what is an actuary? So general, definition of actuary, not just only the general insurance, and there are different types of insurance. And then secondly, we will go deeper into the general insurance or P&C actuaries. And of course, I will touch the main topic, past, present, and the future. And I will end with the introduction on the CAS, Casualty Actuarial Society. So for after each session, so there will be 3 Q&A sessions, so that I don't have to answer everything at the end. So let's start with, what is an actuary? What do actuaries do? Let's see how it's definition like. So usually I get this question and then I will just explain what I do. So but I try to find the definition, like the most accurate definition that I feel like I can present. This is from the Institute of and Faculty of Actuary. So this is UK organization. So it's similar to CAS, but yeah, it's another organization where they introduce the exams for the qualification as well. So it says actuaries are problem solvers and strategic thinkers who use their mathematical skills to help measure the probability and risk of future events. They use these skills to predict the financial impact of these events on a business and their clients. So let's see. So let's look at some keywords. Mathematical skills. So we do use mathematical skills, but it is more like a combination of mathematics, of course, statistics, analytical skills, and also the business management. So in terms of, I mean, math and statistics, I'm very sure that people here, we are very strong with the numbers, and you know what we actually chose to learn more in the university, right? But not just that, but analytical skills. So can you turn all these numbers and all this data? Can you turn this into something insightful? And also on the business management, so what if you have these insights, so if you have this finding, what is implication to the business and also those who have these insurance products? So this is very important. So it's not just plus minus and passing the exams. So how about the probability and risk of future events? Why do we have to measure this probability and risk of future events? So if we think about the nature of insurance business, so it's very different from any others. So for example, iPhone is a good example. Of course, there are a lot more other examples. But think about let's say you wanna come up with like an iPhone similar to iPhone, and then you wanna sell, and you have to know the price of this. This is quite straightforward because we would know the cost of screen, camera, battery, sensors. I mean, we can just go ask around the factories, and we will know the initial cost, and also like other expenses, like how much it will cost for the branding, marketing, and to get people to make things work. So we know this kind of expenses. And then we add all these expenses, and also maybe add some profit margin, so we have something left in our pocket, and then that's what we are going to charge. How about insurance? We have to come up with this one price for a group of people, and it has to be one price, right? We cannot charge. Sometimes it's possible, but usually for let's say motor insurance on internet, like you see one price for this model and this specification. So we have to come up with one price without knowing how much and how often each of these people will make the claims. So that is where all the measuring probability and risk kicks in. Third, predict the financial impact. What's the cost for people and the insurer? So can people in general afford the insurance premium that we priced? And is the company ready for any cat events such as Thai flood in 2011? So it's not only the just the best estimate of how likely something happens, but also some other adverse events we have to think about it. Can we help the society? So it's not only about making the profit out of the insurance products, but can the company help the society? So maybe first, it's more direct by providing the protection when really needed. And secondly, it's a bit more indirect, but we can, insurance companies, we do also consider designing products that promote consumers' safety. For example, I'm not sure how familiar you're with the telematics. So I think in Thailand, it's quite popular. So we have this device in our cars, and it will, the price is really based on how you drive, your driving behavior. So when the price depends on how you actually drive, then maybe it can promote some safety. And another example would be having the sprinkler system at home. So when there is a fire, the damage is not as bad as the condition without sprinklers. Lastly, any other emerging risks. So so how other emerging risks will have what level of financial impact. So for example, with the digitalization, what can we think of, like cyber attacks, and also with the electric vehicles, what happens if the battery explosion is more often than we expect? So all these kind of considerations are required. So then we come to the list of main functions of actuary. So let's see. So there are quite a few, but I try to classify into 5. So pricing, reserving, predictive modeling, business planning, and risk management. However, here, pricing and reserving, these are the main key, I would say. So when you meet an actuary, you most likely they're going to be either pricing or reserving. I rarely see who's really just doing the predictive modeling, business planning, or risk management. I mean, there are, but these two are more common. So where do they work? So first, it depends on the type of insurance. The first, life insurance, is quite well known, right? So this is the insurance on your life, mainly to ensure that your loved ones are financially protected when you're not around. General insurance. So this is our topic today. So I will get to it later. And lastly, reinsurance. So this is actually the insurance for the insurance companies. So insurance company also needs protection from unexpected events. And also, so this is the type of industries. So actuaries will work in these categories. So of course, insurance companies like me, and government. So this the example for Thailand would be the OIC, Office of Insurance Commission. So they will come up with the regulations that's fair to the policyholders, and actuaries can add value to the topics. And education sector, of course, in universities and colleges, you will see maybe not like actuaries with the fellowship, but people with like Ajahn Jirapat or Ajahn Chatangwa, Ajahn Jack. So they have some knowledge, and they're actuarial related, I would say. And then banking. So we also have something called bank assurance. So it's like using bank as the channel to sell the insurance product. So usually, sometimes I do see actuaries working in the bank. And consulting. So that was my past 4 years in KPMG. So it's providing the actuarial services for the insurance companies. And more. So recently I've seen a lot of job postings looking for actuaries from like big companies, like for example Grab, Google, and Shopee. Shopee is something like Lazada in Singapore. So they have their own insurance segment, or they're also looking for like data analytics, and actuaries are good with the data analytics and data itself as well. So I think it's kind of expanding. Okay, so a skill set of an actuary. So I've tried to divide it into knowledge and skills. So let's see. So knowledge, of course, mathematics and modeling. So it will be all the branches under mathematics. So probability, statistics, and financial mathematics as well. Functional expertise, as I mentioned, either risk management, pricing, or reserving. Risk evaluation and management. So it's having the knowledge of risks in insurance industry and understanding of how to determine the likelihood for future events. Also, the actuary has to know about the finance. So knowing the company financial reporting, because there are a few lines that are affected by what actuaries come up with, and accounting frameworks, regulations, and also on the investments. Industry expertise, of course, regulatory requirement. What is the regulation, insurance regulation in the industry in Thailand or in Singapore, and also the consumer behaviors. Lastly, actuarial standards of practice. So we call it ASOP usually in actuarial society, CAS. So this is more like ethics, and it's like a guideline on appropriate actuarial practices. Let's move on to skills. First, critical thinking and problem solving. Skills, having the skills to evaluate each component of a problem and applying prior knowledge to find any solutions to it. Data analysis, skills to gather, analyze, and draw conclusions from the data itself. Leveraging technology. This one is very important. So ability to use technology to improve the process and outcomes. For example, using Excel, right? Being able to write macros or other coding. And also there are other like actual technical softwares as well. And of course, we cannot really skip Googling skills. So yeah, because it's really whatever research, whatever industry data you need to find, I really use Google more often like than ever. Business acumen. So ability to understand business issues. So having the business sense. Communication, verbal and written. So this is actually quite a really something that I find many actuaries have difficulty, how to say, developing, because to be honest, a lot of actuaries, even for me, like before, like I really prefer working alone. Like I'm not really good with like, speaking to others, and even writing a report, I was not as good as, I wasn't that as good like compared to now. But it is really important because you're working in wherever you're working, you have to really translate this into more layman words. Like you're not going to use all the actual technical terms and you cannot expect them to understand everything. So you really have to have this skill, how to communicate what you found into a way that everyone can understand. Lastly, no, actually there are two more. So collaboration and teamwork. So ability to work with people in different departments, especially if for me in insurance company, I have to really interact with different people from different departments, including finance, underwriters, and also even the management, and also the claims team. So the teamwork is very important. So you cannot just work alone because you want to work alone. Lastly, of course, professionalism. This is required for every profession, I guess. Okay, so this is actually the end of the first topic. Any questions? Let me see. Okay, nice. What led you to pursue a career as an actuary, and how did you get started in the field? Okay, so I actually started with a biology degree. So my first, oops, sorry. Sorry for the hiccup. Yeah, so my first year in MUIC was not first, but around, I think 2 terms, I guess. I started with biology, but then after 2 terms, I knew that I couldn't continue with this. So I always liked math. So I went to Ajahn Jack because I think one of the fundamental courses I learned from, I studied with him. And then I was just asking him, I'm not sure with my future if I actually pursue mathematics. And then he actually introduced the actuary. And then I found it really interesting because it was something like I could apply, it's applied mathematics really. Like I don't have to be really just handling numbers only, but I have to actually do the analysis and then also present something and then I can make some difference to the business. So that's how I started being an actuary, pursuing for the actuary. Can you describe some of the most challenging projects you've worked on as an actuary and how you approached those challenges? Actually, I can get to that later. Just remind me probably, okay, I will come back to this question. Let's see, let me just, okay, I will leave it unanswered. How do you stay up to date with the latest developments and trends in the actuarial field, and what resources do you rely on for continuing education? This, I will leave it as well. How has the actuarial profession evolved in recent years, and what new challenges and opportunities do you see? I will leave that as well. Do you travel as part of your job? So I had chances when I was in KPMG because it's a consulting role and it's more like, helping the clients. So I would say there were chances, but when I started, I was still like junior, so I didn't get to travel at all. But then at the stage when I could travel, it was during COVID, so I couldn't travel. So by right, if you were in consulting, and when you get to a certain level, then you can travel for sure, or any regional roles in insurance companies. So that's like internal consulting role. So then maybe you can travel as well. But for local industry and local insurance companies, usually there are not many chances to travel unless there's some overseas training. Working for insurance has a reputation for being a bit boring. What is it like day to day? Okay, so I don't know what kind of reputation, but I would say it's been quite, I think it's quite a different story as for the general insurance, I would say. For life insurance, I'm not sure. Maybe it is not, or maybe not boring. But general insurance, it has been very dynamic. So I will get to there, what kind of like challenges and all these different topics that we have to deal. So let's get to there later. Okay. So going back to the slides. So let's move on. So what is general insurance and general insurance actuaries? So there are different terms you will see. So general insurance, or GI, non-life insurance, we usually like refer to non-life, and property and casualty, or P&C. So by right, they're all the same meaning. General insurance just being general products. Non-life insurance because we cover almost everything except life. And also P&C, property and casualty, I will get to there. So the property and casualty world. So this is exciting field because it could be anything on earth except human life. So let's see. First, property. It covers the policyholder's own possessions. So for example, motor, home, commercial building, cargo, smartphone, and even pet insurance nowadays. What's the casualty or liability? So it covers the policyholder's legal obligations arising from losses the policyholder causes others. So you will see auto liability. So it's different from the motor above. So in above, it's actually covering the motor, the car itself. And auto liability, let's say you get into an accident, and if the other car, someone else in the car is hurt, or even if you cause the accident and someone is injured from the car accident, then this category, casualty liability insurance, will come in. Professional liability. Example, doctors, they can make, during the surgery, they can make some mistakes, and, they can get sued. So they're insurance for that. Workers' compensation. That's, so for example, construction workers at work, they do they build something, and then they fall and they get injured. And then again, casualty and liability. Also the cyber. So this is quite, I would say very new, but still considered new. So cyber attacks. So what happens if the company data is lost? All this kind. Okay, so this is the P&C, general insurance or non-life. So we really the scope is really quite big. So it can be really anything outside except like human life. So let's go to the past. So how are we like in the past, like P&C actuaries? So I would say it's really focused on the basic actuarial skills. We have the sufficient data, but not extensive. So we only have the really important data that we have to capture to do the analysis, and also lack of computing capacity. So actuaries tools in the past. 3. So knowledge, paper and pencil, and the basic data and calculator. And also, since 1985, we have Excel. So it's like, I think most actuaries, the best friend. So these 3, we probably have this now, right? So if calculator, you can use your phone or whatever. So let's use this to see what it is like to be an actuary. So if you remember, the pricing was one of the main skills. So let's try to price something. So the task is calculate the minimum premium for a 1 year motor insurance policy. And we have this data given. So there are 1,000 drivers to cover. And we expect 300 of the 1,000 to have an accident within a year. And the average repair cost for each accident is 500. So I will give you maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds to work on. Should be quite I guess straightforward. I mean, if you know the concept, then the calculation is easy. Before I just show the solution. Okay, let's see. So the severity, yeah, this is quite, this is really insurance term, severity and frequency when actuaries do the analysis. So severity is like the, average cost, repair cost, 500. And frequency or probability, we call it. So 300 might have, out of 1,000 will have an accident. So that's 30% or 0.3. And the expected claim cost is what? 500 times 0.3. So we expect around 150, cost of 150 per person. But the challenges include, should we charge more than this? Because the question is asking the minimum premium, right? But is it enough to charge 150? Maybe not, because we have other costs to include. For example, let's say we are involving some agency, or even the bank side or brokers, then we have to pay the commission. So we have to add up for commission. How about marketing funds? How about my salary, actuary salary? I'm working, and I mean my time is spent doing this pricing. So do we add this overhead expense? And at the end, how about for the money for insurance company? How much profit do we want from each insured? So this is some considerations that you have to take in. Second, what if some drivers have more than one accident in a year? So here it says 300 to have an accident. But what if some drivers are very reckless, and then they keep having accidents, like maybe 5 accidents per year? So what do we do about it? Lastly, how about the injuries to passengers? So this is the property side, but how about the casualty side, if it happens? Second scenario, mobile phone, smartphone. Explain how to estimate the expected claim cost for a 1-year smartphone cover that will replace with a new device if it is 100% damaged, like broken from an accident. How do we do this? Solution. Do we follow the same steps as motor insurance? Can we do this? Before even going to the, what kind of data we have this challenge. So this is actually what I had to price, I think, in the beginning of, after I joined MSIG, back into the industry, with not consulting anymore. I'm really dealing how I should price things that will go to the market, right? And then I was asked to price this. The challenge, the first one is on the data. Is there any market benchmark? So to be honest, this is quite a new product. We won't have a lot of, claims data, like even some insurance has offered, but that's some others data. We don't have this data for a new product. So let's say if there is some kind of statistics, how do we ensure the quality of data and statistics, especially regarding the damages on the smartphone? No, I don't think any governments have this kind of statistics uploaded in their website, like how many people break their phone. I don't think so. So for me, what I had to do is really Googling everywhere, get every source that I can get, and then compile everything, and if the assumption makes sense or not. So that's the best I could do. Second part, underwriting. So underwriting means accepting the liability. So in the insurance companies, I think the relationship between actuaries and underwriters are quite close, because underwriters will usually get involved in the product development as well, and trying to come up with the risk controls, how this product can work. So for example, which makes them models are eligible? Are we covering Nokia? How about all these, old models of Nokia? How can we find the replacement? Should we limit the age of device? Should we cover even, 10 years old mobile phone? That won't make sense to, even cover, right? And how do we minimize the moral hazard? So maybe some, let's say even for me, let's say I have an iPhone, and after a week of purchase, I have some scratch. And I realized I have this insurance, so I would just break it, throw it somewhere, and then break it, and then claim. So it's going to be a lot of loss for the insurance companies. So all these challenges, not only the smartphone covers, but different products, you will see all these kind of challenges, and you have to really consider in every aspect what kind of risk are we actually covering, and then how can we minimize the all this moral hazard. So this is the last example. So now it's your turn to reserve. So it's the second main function, the reserving, as important as the pricing. So just to touch a bit, the pricing is quite straightforward. We are really it's just that we have to price the insurance products. So why do we have to reserve? That's, again, we go back to the nature of insurance claims. So again, we have the premium, cash inflow before outflow, which is the claims. So we cannot, we get all the premiums, and the insurance company cannot just start paying out, okay, all this bonus and all this salary. We can't do that. So we have to reserve part of this cash inflow to pay out for the claims. And also the losses will develop over time, because sometimes people don't report right after the accident. So it will take, there will be some kind of reporting lag. And let's say even if we claim, let's say as time goes by, people will, people from claims team, they will come and investigate whether how much is the damage and all this. So we will have some initial reserving, but at the end, it's really most likely that the final number of the claims will change. So that's why we need the reserving actuaries. So the task is calculate how much we should reserve for the claims for year 4. It is known that these claims settle after 3 years. Okay, so here is the data. So this one you will see a lot. I mean, as a GI or PNC actuaries, you will see this a lot. So this is basically, we call it loss triangle. So we have accident year 1. So let's say 2020, year 2020, accident year 2, 2021. So on this line, it's showing the claim amount that happened in year 1. And then here by column, it's how it develops. So by end of the year 1, it's around 1,000. And year 2, it develops to 1,200. And then as of today, it's at 1,320. And for the second year, on and on. So from here, we need to estimate how much we really need to reserve for this portfolio. Can you find a pattern on this? I'm sure you guys are like, quick. Okay, so this is what we do. This is the triangle, same triangle, but it's called LDF. So it stands for loss development factors. So it's basically 1.2 is 1,200 divided by 1,000, and the same thing, year 2, 960 divided by 800. Of course, this one we don't know yet, right? And then second to third, it's 1.1. Although we only have this one, let's say this is very credible data. And then from this pattern, we select what we think is really going to continue for all these undeveloped claims. Okay, so here we see I'm choosing 1 because I added one condition. It is known that these claims will settle after 3 years. So I can just pick one for the last one. So what will be the reserve here? I give you another 15 seconds. So, you know, maybe if you get it right and then you feel accomplishment. Okay. Let's see. So basically, we just multiply these selected factors. Oops, I think this number is not. So it should have been 1,500. Sorry about that. So 1,500 times 1.2, and this one is times 1.1 from here, and then times 1. So same for this. So we call this final claims. So the term is ultimate claims. So it's the same thing, final claims. So we project that all these claims will turn into this amount at the end. And then the reserve will be add all this minus add what has been reported up to date. So we have to reserve 312. So after this money, we can give all the bonus and spend for something else. So what's the challenge here? The data was really perfect for this one. So the loss development was the same for every period, but it's not. The data is never perfect in the real world. And also sometimes as an actuary, you will encounter a lot of data issues within the company, in every company, to be honest. And what if there are some large losses in some years and it distorts the triangle and the development? What if there are operational changes? Let's say suddenly the maybe claims efficiency got really good, so it takes less time to get to ultimate, and then it will distort the entire development pattern. So these are just one of the few challenges. So that was the past. I hope it was fun with the numbers. Now let's look at the present. We still use this knowledge, pencil, pen, paper, data, basic data, calculator, and of course, Excel, the best friend. And we have more now, much better computing power, which is faster, and also we can do more complex calculation. So we use a lot of GLM, also for the reserving, a lot of stochastic modeling. And there are a lot of actuarial modeling softwares around. Of course, it's costly, but a lot of companies do use different softwares. So these softwares will do all this complex calculation, but still it requires a lot of judgmental assumption making for the actuaries. Challenges. So I will say we do have more data and extensive, but it's not extensive enough to do really complete analysis that we want. And the environment is changing really fast. There are a lot of new things coming up, and actuaries really have to keep up to date as one of the questions. Just to adapt to different kind of environment. Maybe there are some new products that we have to come up, and we have to really keep up to date. How about AI? Threat from AI? Not sure about that. We will see about that later. Okay, the future. So as you could see, the scope of GI is really limitless, and the world is changing really fast. So back to the Slido. Give me one topic that you think is a hot topic these days. Let's not spend much, maybe just a minute or so. Sorry, I think I need to. Okay. Oh, can't see. Okay, it's working. Oh. AI. don't put any, scandals, celebrity scandals. Let's be more technical here. Self-driving car, ChatGPT. Oh, okay, PM25. Yeah. Rules from supply chain. Okay. More health issues. Food waste, vegans. Okay. Pet insurance. Yes. Aging society. Food security, electric car. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yes, trust me. So most words here are definitely discussed in the actual world, whether it's under general insurance or life insurance. So probably for health issues and those PM25, it's probably going to be discussed in, under the life within the life insurance actuarial world. So yeah, I think it's this one is mentioned, automated vehicles. So for this one, who's liable for the accident? Manufacturer or driver or software engineer or maybe a hacker, or is it really everything is on the insurance company? Also, before that, also the electric vehicles, right? So how should we start pricing and reserving, without any prior information? And how about, we don't have much, I guess, data on the battery explosion and battery leakage. We're still really uncertain about this kind of events. Secondly, drone or UAV, unmanned aerial vehicles. So we will need like aviation law expertise, and so how do we handle all these privacy issues along with it? Climate change, pollution, climate change. So how are these affecting the loss trend? More flooding, drought. All this. More rainy. It's getting more rainy nowadays, and all this kind of change. It's affecting how we have to really project our losses. COVID, it's actually a good example of how we had to react really fast. So I think this was actually, I guess, one of big challenges for the even life insurance, but also for GI, because you think about the travel insurance, there has been a lot of dispute because in the beginning, we weren't really sure how we should really control this, and then we had to really revamp the products so that we can actually cover for the COVID in the future. Bitcoins, crypto, I would say crypto insurance. So how should people be insured for big losses from doing all this crypto thing? How do insurance handle price volatility though? How do you come up with the pricing for this? And this is really I would say really unregulated risk for now. So for now, many insurers put the exclusion for this type of insurance. And lastly, AI. So it's another big topic along with the big data. So this one, I have one dedicated slide. So yeah, this AI and big data. So it's really booming everywhere, and insurance industry is not an exception. But at this stage, people in the insurance industry, I guess it's also like many others. So we are still hesitant to go with the full 100% adoption of AI because it's not really well known, and it's really hard to explain the analysis and the outcome itself. So I would say rather it is at the stage of exploring and also keeping the trials. For the current actuaries, this is another opportunity to expand the knowledge and skills. So actually for my company, my role, I'm actually managing the department called Data Intelligence and Actuarial. So it's not just the actuarial team. So because we really want to really go ahead with go explore how this can add value to the company. And because actuaries, we know the data well and we know the business well. So, and we can actually code things. we can do the coding. So we are in a really good position to expand our knowledge to, the data science part, and then explore things, we can, how we can add the values. So I would say this is really good opportunity for actuaries. And so the question is, are we in threat? Are actuaries in threat? Is AI going to, replace what we are doing right now? At this stage, I don't think so again. Many actuaries are really stepping up to understand AI and make use of it to add value to the company. And maybe traditional techniques that actuaries use will be replaced by AI. But I believe the role of actuaries will develop as long as we pursue the continuous learning as most of actuaries do. So for example, machine learning in insurance companies and how actuaries are taking apart or giving inputs, giving the feedback is, one is like developing fraudulent claim model. So we run some kind of machine learning, and based on the claims characteristics, we can actually predict whether this is going to be fraudulent or not. Second, it's something like risk score modeling. So based on the policy characteristics, we can actually come up with the risk score 1 to 10. And then later, it requires less of manual work to check every category, whether this claim is really fraudulent or not, or maybe this policy is risky or not. So this is just one of few examples. Okay, Q&A. Let's see. I need to go to Q&A. Okay, that's actually a lot. Let me see. How do I stop this? And audience Q&A. Okay. Any subjects in MUIC that can transfer or apply to actuarial exam? I will get to there. What is actuarial exam like? Can you give some examples and suggestions? Okay, how to prepare? Okay, I will get to there later after the third session. Can you describe some of the most challenging project? Okay, this one, I think it was really on the COVID, and then COVID, and also on the smartphone coverage, something like, it's always the new things that I have to come up with. And I do a lot of research. I do a lot of Googling. And also like I sometimes have actuarial friends, and we just do the, very quick get together and, discuss about it. But for all these new kind of things, you really have to come up with the best assumptions that you think it is. And then there are no like specific way to validate, but then you really just try with what you think is the best, and then you just have to monitor like how you priced something is like, it's adequate price or not for the company. How do you stay up to with the latest development and trends in the actuarial field, and what resource do you rely on for continuing education? Okay, so this was from the previous. So latest developments and trends in actuarial field. So there are always actuarial conference going on like every year or half year. So I really have to try. I really try to stay up to date with that. And also, there's a requirement from most of the association that you have to fill some of the hours, whether from the conference or or taking some courses or attending some seminars. So I think this is usually no problem to always be learning. Okay, that's done. Stay up to date. That's done. How has the actuarial profession evolved in recent years? I think this one is discussed. Can you discuss a time when you had to communicate complex actuarial concepts to a non-technical audience, and how you went about making your ideas accessible? Okay, so this one, communicate complex actuarial concepts. It's always, I think it was just in the beginning that it was really difficult. But if you think about it, could you understand what I actually like presented in the, if you could understand what I did for the three examples, your turn to be an actuary. So that's what I did. So actually behind it, it has a lot of technical terms, but I just have to come up with a way that it's presentable to everyone. So I think it's more like, I guess you will learn through the way. Like in the beginning, it's difficult, but you will get to there. Variation of COVID. This one, I'm not sure what the question is about. How do you explain an increase in a car insurance premium next year when we claim the insurance during the current year? This is actually quite straightforward. So I'm not sure with the Thai insurance products structure, but in Singapore, it's quite known that if you incur a claim within this year, people do expect just there will be some kind of increase in the premiums. And this is usually quite automatic because, I mean, car insurance is already, it's really common. So, and I don't have to explain. I think it's quite something that people don't expect the explanation because there has been like claims. Would you say that a large part of the job is finding creative data sources to inform the models? Would you say a large part of job is finding creative data sources? Large part of the job, I think it's a mix of both. I mean, mix of this creative data, finding creative data sources, and also it has to be reliable. And another is really what is existing. And then we have to, actuaries have to really gel together, validate together, and then come up with the final conclusion. What was the hardest risk you had to price? I would say really it was a smartphone. There were so many considerations I had to really take into account. So at the end, it didn't roll, but it was a lot of researches, and I mentioned to you the considerations even with the underwriting. So we had, like at the end, I had to really think of the ways to control all this risk, like moral hazard. But at the end, it was not. I think the cost doing that and then managing, I think that was not like efficient to compare to the profit that we are expecting. So I think it didn't. That's why it didn't roll. How insurance company prevent losses from COVID insurance product? Easily put, I would say in the beginning it was really not covered at all because by a traditional product, travel, especially the travel insurance. I'm not sure if this is referring to a travel insurance or not, but mainly for the travel insurance, the infectious diseases, it's under the exclusion. So it was more like the issue with the future plans because now COVID is like everywhere and people are looking for the insurance with that covers the COVID, and even it's also the requirement for the government, like some of the countries, like how Thailand was. So I think the preventing losses, I think it was quite successful. It's just that we had to, it was more like the step after. You mentioned about actuarial modeling softwares. Who designed these softwares, and do they use the traditional GLM or do they use machine learning or both? Usually the consulting companies, one is like Willis Watson Tower, another one is SAS, if you have heard of the software. So actually there are a lot of like consulting companies and also the data side trying to come up with all these kind of softwares. And traditional GLM is there, machine learning is there as well. So it's like, it's really evolving as well. I've seen a lot of variations in softwares nowadays. Okay, so actually, I'm not sure if anyone is in hurry. So we are really getting to the 6 p.m. mark, but I have just a few more slides on the CAS, and also I can share with the exam. So please stay with me if you are still okay with the time. Okay, going to the Casualty Actuarial Society. So you see the logo here as well. So let's move on. So about the CAS. So you may have heard about the SOA. So that's the Society of Actuaries, but that's more on the life insurance side. But I also started from there because back in like 2016 when I started studying for the exams, life insurance was more popular and SOA was really more popular in Thailand. So that's how I started with the exams. So what's different about the CAS? So it is world's only actuarial organization focused exclusively on P&C risks. So like the one where I got the definition of actuary from, so even that one, it has like two tracks. For one is for life and one is for GI actuaries. But for CAS, we don't have any life insurance topics. So it's really focused and very technical for the P&C risks. And CAS also has 100+ year track record in training P&C actuaries, nearly 10,000 members worldwide and growing. And this one is not that important. Next, education journey. So this is about the exam. So we start candidate, associateship, and also on the fellowship. So for the start, exam 1, 2, and VEs, and also the CAS discs. So this B is the one, so from the Q&A. So these are the ones that are transferable from the university course credits. So I just checked this morning. Unfortunately, 2 of the MUIC courses that applied, it's not there anymore. I think it probably has some expiry date after applying, but I'm sure these are really university courses related. So I'm sure it can be transferred, but I mean, you can contact me if how the process is if you really want to transfer these credits. So exam 1 is probability, 2 financial mathematics, and this I think exam 2 is really similar to BUS 5 in MUIC. And CAS disc, so this is quite new. So data and insurance series courses. So this is really how it shows like actuaries are starting expanding our areas to the data analytics, machine learning, and all these AI topics. ACAS. So we have 2 statistic courses, and one is course on professionalism. So this is something kind of conference. And exam 5, basic rate making, pricing, and claim reserving. 6 is on the regulation. And last 3 is for fellowship. So advanced reserving, exam 8, advanced pricing, and exam 9, financial risk and risk rate of return. So yeah, actually CAS offers more than 70% discount for candidates in Thailand for these exams. So these ones are under associateship and fellowship. So this is the usual price. So for student, it's $440, which is really expensive. But after discounting, it's like only $150 and $225 for candidates from Thailand. So this one, again, if you're interested, just let me know. But you have to still pass the first, start ones. Okay, so I just want to share you some links where you can get more information on the CAS. So this is called Student Central. So, this one has no membership fee, and I think you can find a lot of things. Sadly, when I joined, I think this is quite new stuff. So it gives you also the free practices exams and what else? Internships and scholarships opportunities, but I think this is more like for the states. And yeah, I think it's like a community you can actually share. And okay, so they have also the free webinars. Second, this one is more exciting. So 2023 East Asia Summer Student Program for free. So this is a free 8-week virtual academic summer program. So it will run from July to August. So for 2 months. So this will give something like what I presented, but I think it's more, more technical, and you can really communicate with the other people from the region and also with the professionals. And you will get to also, do some kind of case study, real life actual problems. And yeah, you just have to spend approximately 10 hours per week on the program. So I did share the PDF file on this to Ajahn Jack, so you can always approach him, and he also has the contact to the CAS. Okay, I try to really wrap up fast. So Q&A, let's go back. Okay, So what is actual exam like? Can you give some examples and suggestions of how to prepare for the exam? So I think in the beginning, the one that you have to start. These ones are actually really, I'm not sure with this one. But I think this is attending courses, and so I'm not really sure. But this first three, this should be pretty much easy. So I think for exam one, and actually exam 1, 2, and VE, it's actually even transferable, even with SOA to CAS. So it's the same 3 exams. So probability, Ajahn Jack actually opened one of the course on the probability. So I took that course, and basically I spent that course to study for this exam. And these ones are all multiple choice, and these ones are also multiple choice. And this one is just, attending a course basically on the professionalism. So these ones are actually, if you really just have good knowledge on the statistics and mathematics, including the financial math, I think it should be fairly okay. But of course, you have to really invest your time. Exam 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, it gets difficult. It's like 4 hours exam each, and it's really written. It's not, so they will look at your solution, how you solve, and then also the final answer. So, but then at least you even if you get the answer wrong, then if your thought process and the working is there, then you can also get the partial credits. But for sure, when you get to this level, you are probably already working, and that's more difficult because it's really how determined you are. So I had to really make time in the morning, wake up, go to work early, like spend at least an hour or two to study, and then work, and then come back. But a lot of companies in Singapore, I think Thailand also, it's the same. So a lot of insurance companies will have the study benefits that will reimburse for the study materials, exams, and also, they will also give you the salary increment for each exam you pass, and also have the study leave and the exam leave. But this is really the full. So maybe some insurance companies have and some not. So yeah, you really need to be determined, I guess. So for me, from the start, it took me 9 years, but it's still, I hear this is still like, I guess it's quite fast. So for me, I just wanted to really get it done with it, like as soon as possible. So that's where my motivation was. And I didn't want to stop in the midway because it's really a lot of hours and effort to, study for these ones. Okay. Let me check. Okay, no more questions. Awesome. So I just have this quiz time. So we are going to back to Slido, and grab 100 baht voucher. Only one winner. If 2 winners, then okay, I will give out 100 each. So get ready. So same thing, join here. Let me open it. Okay. Let's go. I need to, okay, give me a second. Is it showing? Oops, no, give me a second. Okay, I think you need to press join. Okay, I see people joining. 4. Okay, so please, who's JY? Just remember to put your name so we can identify you. But it's okay. I think it's just the initial, then it's fine. Liverpool 7, I don't know. If you win, I don't know. I don't know if I can find you, but then let's see if you win. Okay, it was 14 people in the beginning. Maybe I can start. I'm gonna count 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. How many years was Nayoon living in Thailand? Oh no, is it too fast? Okay. People did answer. Okay, correct answer. 11 years. I'm glad no one picked 40 years. I don't know like what you're thinking of me if you, but good that no one's picked 40. Next question. What is the nature of insurance business? Why is it different from others? You need to send the, yeah, okay. Okay, let's see, correct answer. Cash inflow is known before cash outflow. Yes, that's the answer. I see some people couldn't answer. I don't know if it's a lack of the time or please don't forget to submit your answer, okay? Next question. We only have 8 questions. What are the 2 main actuarial functions? Okay, 55% got it correct. So it's pricing and reserving. Which is the example of GI products under casualty or liability? Okay, I think mainly people were paying a lot of attention. Okay, so we are halfway. Let's see. Leaderboard. Okay, we have, oh my gosh, we have Liverpool on the second. Okay. So it's also with the timing. So yeah, we have 3 people got 3 questions correct. Next question, we move on to the second half. When was Excel launched, created? Ooh, 85. Actually, 1970, there wasn't even like personal computer. I think the personal computer was invented in 74. 85. Next question. What reserving technique was discussed in the presentation? Yes, loss triangle development. Frequency and severity was under pricing. But yeah, you were listening. I give you the credit for that. Next question. What is not correct about the CAS? Okay, it is known for having the most difficult qualification journey. No, I think there are other, I mean, it's really, you cannot rank the different organizations with the exam difficulty because it's really all difficult, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't say difficult, but it's a long journey process. Last one. What does the CAS stand for? Oh no. Yeah, it's Casualty Actuarial Society. Leaderboard, who's the winner? Liverpool actually won. Who is the Liverpool? Who's the Liverpool? Okay. Maybe Ajahn Jack can let me know who it is, and I will need your email and the contact. Okay, so that is the end of my presentation. And yeah, thank you. And we will keep in touch, right? I hope this session was quite useful. Thank you for your time. We did overall around 15 minutes, but I hope no one had to go to the class.
Okay. So we thank Nayoon for coming to give the presentation today. Yeah, it's very helpful and very informative. Yeah, so I hope to invite her to give a talk like this again in the future, and I hope to win a watcher next time too. Okay, thank you. Yeah, see you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Our picture.
Thank you very much,
Oh, you
Nayoon.
want to take a picture, Nayoon? You don't
Yeah,
mind,
yeah,
right?
sure.
Thank you. Oh, May, here's everybody. May, see? But they don't go up. I don't think they will.
All right, Nayoon, we're gonna take photo.